practice was just okay. But I thought the guys responded today. We kept the same format as before. We went live tackle for about 30 plays to start, and thought the offense looked its best it's looked all spring. They scored 3 or 4 touchdowns, so that was exciting to see. Guys making plays, and the defense definitely need to clean up some tackling, but that's why we tackle in spring. Then we went to more of a thud back and forth. It was a little bit more evenly matched. Whenever you go thud, there's just less missed tackles because it's thud. So the down and distance is a little bit more advantageous for a defensive side of the ball, but thought the compete at that point of the practice was really good. Went 2 minute into game, minute 28 left, 2 timeouts on the minus 25. Defense ended up getting a pick 6 actually, which was good to see. And then the white offense went down and actually scored a touchdown, which was good. We had them like a pressure extra point. We kind of acted like there was a personal foul after the touchdown to push the ball back because the score of the offense was down 6. So then the extra point was the win, banked off in. So that was good to get. And then we did our red zone lockout at the end, which, just so you guys know, if the defense gets a stop, it's 7 points. If the offense gets a field goal, it's 3 points. If the defense gets a stop and the offense makes the field goal, it's 4, and then a touchdown on offense is 7. So you play to 18, and it creates a lot of good competition. And the defense won that round of the day. So all in all, really good back and forth from both sides. Thought we had really good drives on offense, and then I think Jay kind of got it in a rhythm, calling it the second half of the scrimmage. Offense was presenting a lot of problems with some different shifts and formations and personnel grouping. So all in all, really good work, and excited about this final week. Yeah, I'm still in the midst of figuring that out. I think we've gotten kind of a really good rhythm with this format. It'd be a little bit non-traditional format, but I'm still processing what we're going to do, whether it's just truly offense, defense, or blue versus white. So it's trending a little bit more O versus D next Saturday, but we'll make sure the format's fun and interactive for the fans, and that these guys have a good opportunity to compete. Yeah, I mean, I think that's when you see Skinner really make some plays in a lot of different facets. I thought Jason Patterson had a really good day running the football. Martellus Carter had a really good day. Kenny Darby showed up a few times today. I mean, Willie's continuing to put in a great camp. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely some skill guys that stand out, but that is why you tackle. You have to. And even though sometimes I just clinch and I just hope and pray, I know this is the best way to do it. I just do, because if we don't tackle at all come fall, it'll look like we haven't tackled in a year.
Have you made it through spring so far without any major injuries?
Yeah, major for sure. Yeah, we've been relatively healthy. There's always hamstrings and quad contusions just because you play football. Football it's a tough game, as we all know. So more than anything, it's just trying to battle through the hamstrings. That's the big thing that shows up early in camps. But I would say to this point, we've been relatively healthy.
Has there been a certain position group that has really stepped up their play, that has really shown a lot of growth just as a whole unit over the spring?
Yeah, I mean, I think O-line's done a really good job. Tight ends have done a good job. And then defensively, I think our backers have improved. I really do, from their first day to now. I like our safety play and our star. So, I mean, I think everybody's improved. So I don't know if not necessarily one group has stood out more, but I just think we have 3 really talented tight ends that I think are going to be really advantageous for us this season.
You mentioned those tight ends. How do they complement each other? Because we've obviously seen what Willie can do receiving and the physicality, but that group as a whole.
Yeah, Willie is an all-around great player. He can do it all. He can pass protect, run block, catch the ball, make missed tackles, or create missed tackles. Henry's done a great job in line, but I've been impressed with his ability to catch the ball down the field. He made a few really good catches today. And, I think he's proving his worth receiving the football as well. And then Skinner's an all-around player. You can put him anywhere. You can put him in the backfield and in the hip of the tackle, out wide. So they all each have their own skill sets. But, they've been working really well together.
Well, you mentioned after one of the touchdowns that you simulated personal foul. Obviously, you never want to get one of those. What's your advice to guys about just your view on celebrations after good plays?
Yeah, I mean, connection's our number one DNA trait. I want to see guys party on a hat and celebrate. There's obviously rules against certain celebrations, like spinning the ball or, doing like a gun signal. Like you can't do certain things, so we teach what you shouldn't do. And obviously, we want to celebrate. The biggest thing with us is just celebrate with your teammates.
Well, you've talked about offense versus defense. Some of your predecessors through the years have talked about how difficult it is for a coach in a scrimmage situation if the offense is done well, the defense is failed at some degree or whatever. How do you balance what you're seeing out there?
Yeah, it's never as good as you think. It's never as bad as you think. You can come off a practice field and be like, man, I just don't know how we practiced today. And then you watch the tape and guys are straining, they're striking blocks, they're competing. So it's never as good or as bad. And that's one reason why we do blue and white, to keep it a little bit more evenly matched. I've been a part of spring balls in the past, whether when I was a player or early on as a coach, where it's like ones versus twos, and you can go out there and feel really good about your offense or defense because they're just stoning both sides of the ball because the better players are on the other side. So that's why I like we do blue and white. And today was a really good back and forth. I was excited to see the offense have success early. Because I thought last week, the offense moved the ball. They just didn't finish drives. And this week they finished, I think, 4 drives, within the first 4 or 5 drives of the day, which was really good to see.
Well, kind of following up on that, how quick was the adjustment for you to be happy to the defense making plays like you've been an offensive guy for so long?
I've always been happy when the defense makes plays because I know that I'm getting the ball back on offense, So, you just gotta drop your ego and understand that this is a big picture process for us. And I love the competition between Joe and Jay, but then off the field, they're each other's biggest fans. But that's what you want. You want competition, and you want that. You don't want a loser mentality. I think it's just okay to get your ass whooped by the defense or the offense. You want to step up and play. So, but as a head coach, obviously, I love pick sixes and TFLs and sacks because I know our offense is going to get the ball back.
How different has spring football felt with no portal window coming in? You can't go out and fill a hole with another guy, and you also don't have to worry about, any of these guys.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, I've been a part of, I guess, the last, I don't know how many years. Last year there wasn't, right? Am I right on that? Yeah. I feel like I don't even know what year it is sometimes. Yeah, it's great. You know your team in January, and then you can build on that. In the past, you would have to, this would be portal recruiting or recruiting your own team right now, which is awful. It sucks, So to have your team set in stone, it's a great, really good feeling.
With that, obviously, you don't make too much of big plays at this point in the year, but is there anyone you want to talk about? You talk about some big touchdowns there, pick six on the practice field. You think there's anyone's really making plays right now?
Yeah, that was Jesse Anderson made the pick six. I thought he's done a really good job from Pitt. I like Jacaden Ferguson a lot. I think he's a kind of like in that rare talent. He's a really special player. He's just got to continue to learn everything about the offense because if he can do that, I think he's like a lights out dynamic type player that I'm really glad is on our team. I think D-line's just continued to prove that they got guys that can rush the passer and get interior push. And then our offensive line's, I think, going to be really good, and like we stay healthy. Those guys are big and physical and smart and care about each other. So it's a really impressive group.
Will, from day one until 30 now, what are you most pleased about Kenny and his progression and picking up what you like to do?
Well, like today, it was awesome to see. It was a third down, kind of got to have it situation towards the end of the scrimmage, and the defense was bringing a field pressure, and Kenny flips the protection to the field, gets to the back line, and then the defense flips their blitz to the other side, and he has poise and calmness, flips the protection back. The clock's at like 2-1, goes on a quick count and gets the ball snapped. It was an incompletion, But that was great operation, like elite operation that not a lot of guys can do. And to have that much poise to see the clock ticking down, no panic, get it snapped, and put the ball in a position to make a play, it just was a good PBU on a third down. That's the growth that I've seen from Kenny, and that's what's gives me great confidence moving forward because he can make all the throws. He's mobile, and when you have a high functioning brain like that at quarterback and can get the ball out on time and process like that, I think the sky's the limit for him.
Do you give guys like that a green light to kind of see things and change things on the road?
Yeah, that's how we teach from the get-go. From the get-go, we always teach like every play you call is good against certain looks and not good against other looks. Like not every play is designed to work versus every defense. There's some kind of all-encompassing concepts that do, but every play's got a negative. So you have to know as a quarterback, this is not good. Like we have this play called, Coach Sloan, Coach Stein like this call, but I know this isn't good based on the film study and the preparation. So how do I get us out of these negative plays and into either just a play we know is going to get 3 yards or can turn it into an advantage run or check that can get you an explosive play for a touchdown. So you always teach the why behind the play and what the play stinks against, and then kind of show them, all right, we really like this concept versus 3-deep zone. But if you get true cover 2, like we'd rather run the ball. So teaching them that way, and we don't wait till like fall to do that. We just teach them from the get-go. I mean, these are smart guys. They've been playing a lot of ball, and shoot, every kid plays Madden now. So, it's just like playing Madden back there,
What was it like for you as a quarterback to learn that?
My system was a little bit less like advantage checks when I played for really like Sean Watson. We had more like kill game. So 2 plays called at the same time. Basically, the dumbest or the easiest way, run left, kill it to run right, or run it versus 2 high zone, kill it versus to pass versus 1 high. So that's kind of the world that I grew up in. We've built the offense and adapted to have some more like advantage checks at the line that are kind of within the holster of the quarterback to be able to get to at any time.
Well, kind of a two-part question here. This is the last time we'll talk to you before the spring game. What's the biggest thing you want to see from your team next week, and then what do you hope the fans take away from each conversation?
In the spring game next week, just play clean. Play clean. That's huge. Can we get lined up with fans in the stand? Can we call a play correctly in the huddle with fans out there? Are we going to let that moment just kind of dictate our process? Or are we going to say, hey, this is the process regardless if there's 1 person watching or 65,000? Like, it doesn't matter. So I think that's the big thing. Playing clean, seeing great competition with our guys, making plays on both sides of the ball, having fun, enjoying it. I mean, Big Blue Nation will be out there, which is exciting for our players. The juices will be up for sure. It's 11 a.m. kick, so I hope our fans get their coffee, and if they got to spike their coffee with whatever, do it, and have fun cheering these guys on.
Well, recruiting a backup quarterback out of the portal doesn't seem like the easiest process if everybody wants to play. So what did you see in Ja'Kai that you liked, and what was kind of the conversation with Ja'Kai who had already played some?
Yeah, I mean, when we got here, it was like a big emphasis, not just to find a new starting quarterback, but to add depth. At one point it was, I think, just Brennan here, So you got to have more than one arm to go through a camp. And, Ja'Kai he was named the starting quarterback at Marshall. So he's got, I think he's got a live arm. He's got talent. He can really run too. So I like his progress, really him and Brennan. I think Brennan's gotten a lot better throughout this camp, pushing him. He can make all the throws as well, but I think Ja'Kai showed out there today. He did some really good stuff. It's just being poised in the pocket, with younger quarterbacks. That's always something that you got to work and stress, but he's done a nice job so far.
Got the video earlier this week of having Derek Abney out at practice. Why has it been important for you to show these new guys, some who haven't been around to stay in the program, the legacy of Kentucky football?
I think that's it. I think when you get 44 to 50 new players on your team, they don't know the history like I do. And when we had the opportunity to bring Derek out and Andre Woodson and who else have we brought out? Craig East was here the other day. And then all the other former players that have been around, Ty Bryant's dad, Cisco. Like, there's been a lot of guys here, and I think my dad's like spearheading it. I mean, he's like bringing. I'm like, it's like the '80s teams are just all out here today. I love it, but no, it's important. I mean, like, it's important for our guys to know who Derek Abney is. He's one of the most electric players in the history of college football. So not just here at Kentucky, what he did, just NCAA wise, all the records. I mean, it's really cool to have a guy like that came through this program. So just want to really pay homage to those guys and understand that it's their program. It's not mine. It's not. This is their program, the players' program, the state of Kentucky's program, and I want to make sure everybody's aware of great players.
Derek, have any tips for your return guys? Do you have?
I asked him if he could still get out there and return a few. I mean, what was it? Was it the Florida game or Mississippi State game? Yeah, all of them. Yeah, seriously. And it's like, it's like your childhood hero. And then I walk up to him, he's like my size. I'm like, you really were that small, Like, so no, he's awesome. He lives in Charleston, South Carolina now. So he was in town. I think his daughter had maybe a volleyball game in Louisville or something. And he was able to come over. So yeah, he's awesome. Definitely one of my childhood heroes, and was great to see him.
Couple more.
Kentucky, you mentioned Shane Carr a few times in here. What about that adjustment from FCS to this level is hardest? And why do you think we've seen more players make that leap and really thrive at this level?
I think Coach Signetti said it, and it struck me, like, production is still, like, important. When guys, no matter what level, if you catch this many passes and have this many yards, it's just like time on task. It's just getting used to making plays, regardless of the competition. Like, production is important. And same with high school recruiting. Finding guys that rushed for over 1,000 yards in high school and passed for over 3,500 yards in high school, made this many tackles in high school, a lot of times it translates. Now, height, weight, speed is still important, but I love Shane's length. He's got great size. He's got good speed, really good hands, and he was really productive at Southern Utah. So when we had the opportunity to get him on our team, we loved his tape. We jumped right on it, and I think he's had a really good spring. The big thing is just, I think, the amount of time that we spend here might be different than his previous school. So that's a big adjustment when you get into this program, the way that we run things. It's a lot of ball. Like, we demand a lot from these guys, but we know that we put all this work in so we can have a good product on Saturdays.
Well, you talked about, since you got here, drawing upon what you've learned at all the stops along your football career. But in designing this series of spring practices and drills, are you doing anything that you said once upon a time, if I ever get my own team or when I get my own team, I'm going to do this that might be unique?
It's a great question. Yeah, we've changed up some of the schedules throughout the week. Like, Wednesdays, we've started a little bit later than we did at Oregon, because I thought that was like a good change up, and like hump day. We did that a few times this spring. We're not meeting as long on practice days as I did at Oregon, so we would meet probably like 50 minutes out there before practice. I've cut it to like about 35 when we get to true like O&D meets. So just trying to get out to the field a little bit quicker than what we did in the past. We've traditionally done a lot of two-spot work in spring ball, meaning like both fields are going on at the same time. So it'd be blue O, blue D this side, white O, white D going on this side, and then you have a next group of mixed blue and white players that can go out there. So you're talking about like 88 players getting work. We did more of our two-spot within the first kind of 2 weeks of spring ball. I've tapered back on that just because, we don't have the amount of depth that we did at Oregon currently. Like, I think we got good depth, it's just not great. And so I've tried to cut back on that in spots, but at the same time, I've tried to adapt. We might go two-spot either way, like a team session, and then instead of bringing out a whole new mixed group, we'll just do 7-on-7 for 3 reps. So that was something that we didn't do in the past, but I thought was a good change up. So, but yeah, I mean, I think I'm definitely learning as a head coach what I like and what I don't like and what works and doesn't work. And just because it worked somewhere else doesn't mean it's necessarily going to work here. But at the same time, what we did at other spots is, it's proven to work, and it's really driven from Lanning. It was driven from Kirby Smart, driven from Saban. So it's kind of that same tree, but I also got a lot of Jeff Traylor in me from UTSA, and then, I'm just trying to be me.
What do you think it's been, that's kind of surprising from that first day you walk out there as the head coach to now, and maybe different than what you were expecting?
I mean, I don't know if anything's like surprising. I'm sure there have been thoughts. It's been great to see just the development of our entire staff, our whole program, our players from day one of spring ball when we were out on the ryegrass and it was cold and dewy and guys were slipping everywhere. I was like, I should have listened to Josh Pruitt. He's our DFO. He's like, it's going to be slick out there. I was like, no, it's not, dude. Come on. It was slick out there, So then I made a change and we went inside for about 5 practices after that. So I think it's just been a lot of fun, and we are, pushing these guys to spots I don't think they've ever really felt before. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's like a big surprise. I guess, I'm just not calling plays, that's a surprise. It's different, but I love where Joe's taking this offense and where we're building this together and to where it's the Kentucky offense. It's not Oregon's or Will Stein's or Joe's. This is the Kentucky offense. And I love being able to interact with Jay and talk to him during the drive and say, if you just call cover 2, I promise this is going to work. And he does, and it works, I'm like, it's fun to do stuff like that where before I was doing whatever my head coach wanted me to do. So now I get to make all the decisions, which is a lot of fun.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
I have Willie Rodriguez.
How y'all doing?
Everybody ready? All right, questions?
So this is the first time we're talking to you, so why stay at Kentucky if there's been plenty of other options to move out like this new stuff?
Yeah, I think the new staff was very intriguing, obviously, and I'm obviously really happy I stayed. I think you guys have seen the energy they brought and how it's all gone. And I really like the offense, and they really showed me how it was going to be used, and it's been that way so far. So it's been great.
Times they mentioned Kenyon City, even what they did at Oregon.
Yeah, so they mentioned obviously Ferguson, Oregon, first of all, and then Sadiq, and watched a bunch of their film. And also with Sloan at LSU, we watched a bunch of Mason Taylor film. So it was really good seeing all those guys film. And just when you show stuff on film, there's nothing. That's the truth. That's the tape. So the tape doesn't lie.
Last week he said that you two were kind of talking to each other a whole lot when you were making your decision. Just how beneficial was the meeting for you personally when you were debating on what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I mean, we're both from Kentucky. We were talking a lot because we were both kind of in a similar situation. And I think it came down to we both wanted to be here in the state because we're both from here. We wanted to stay here, and we wanted to do something special here with this new staff. And that's really what it came down to with me and Tyler talking every day.
As the other side of that, we know how close you and Cutter are and were. Like, how much in these conversations do you have to build on those relationships, and then also acknowledge like we got to do what's best for each of us?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to, you got to do what's best for you in your future, you can still have those relationships in your life, but at the end of the day, it's what's best for you and your future and your family. So it just comes down to that, and that's just how college football is now.
You've learned the offense. Like, how has your role changed, evolved from what it was the first 2 years on campus?
Yeah, I think it's a really, really good role in the offense. I'm trying to be a big leader this year, and I think the way offense flows is the tight end is also a big part of it, and I think a lot of the balls go that way. And even if it's like we talk a lot, like if we mess up a play, it's usually the center of the play. It could be a block, it could be anything, but we're usually in the big part of the play, and I think that's a big part of this offense, and that just proves how the tight end is such a big part of it.
What's it been like catching balls from Kenny so far?
It's been really good. He's really accurate, and when he gets in rhythm, it's pretty scary. He goes like today, those first 3 drives, he got in rhythm with his feet, and he's really accurate. He's really good leader, and really confident, which I like a lot out of a quarterback when you're in the huddle.
He's not like a raw guy, but he's commanding in the huddle. So we're just
Yeah, he's pretty calm. So he's very confident and calm. I can take care of the rah-rah. So, we got that with the O-line, tight ends. But the way he is, he comes in, he calms us down, and situations get crazy. So that's kind of what you want out of a quarterback, He can take control of the offense, take command, and calm everybody down in big moments.
Stein's talked a lot about the non-traditional practices and it's a lot of best on best and he's mix and matching. How has that helped your growth, and was it just like, compared to practices in other years?
Yeah, I love it. I think competing every day, just the different drills we're doing. Like we do something called the Mama Drill. I think it's one of the best things I've ever done in my life playing football. It's one of the most fun things, and I love competing because competing brings out energy in practice, and it brings out, you know what I mean, that just the competition every day. Going out and doing these different things in practice. In the middle of practice, we're doing a certain drill, and that I think for me, I love, like I said, I love competing. And it brings out really good energy for the team.
Someone you really enjoy competing against that really pushes you?
I mean, anybody on defense. I mean, I like going against all the safeties, linebackers, basically anybody. I love competing. So I think it's just really cool. It's the whole team watching. I mean, it's just you in front of the whole team. We go down the line. Everybody gets a chance. It's wide receiver, tight end, O line versus D line. Everybody gets a chance. It's 1-on-1 in front of the whole team. Nothing to hide. You know what I mean?
Any highlights from that, either you or somebody else?
Yeah, I think I mean, it's we're doing it every day, so it's just competing. But the best part about it is you're gonna lose, you're gonna win. That just teaches you how to compete. And that's a good thing. You don't want to be, you want both sides winning, obviously. So it's a good thing.
Well, can you kind of take us through the timeline of a player, like last season, Louisville game's over, the next day coach was on, and then later that day coach Stein already hired. What was that like having so much stuff happen in such a short time span?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I do remember it. It was just so really. I was back home, and we didn't know what was going on, obviously, and I was just back home training, and they got the hire really quickly, and we all came down here, and a lot of us were just sitting here talking, and I just remember that first meeting with him, and he talked to me, and I liked it a lot at first, and we just continued to talk, and it was really good. It was really cool, really quick though.
What do you hope this upcoming spring game, what do you hope that you, the tight ends, and the rest of the team can show the fans about what's coming in the fall?
I think it's just the energy we're bringing, and the competitiveness, like I said, and both sides of the ball. Like today, it was back and forth, and that's what you want, obviously, in a scrimmage or the spring game coming up. And I think it'll be a lot of good things to see on both sides and good competition. So I think it'll be a really exciting day.
I know you're looking at one day at a time, one drill at a time, but it wouldn't be human if you hadn't snuck a look at the schedule. And it's pretty challenging. I mean, if you all even, as among yourselves, talked about it, looked at it, I mean, it's pretty challenging.
Yeah, to me, it's just like just motivation to go work, and that's what we've been doing since January. Obviously, that's in the future, but that's just what we're working for, and what we're working every day towards, whether it's a Monday walkthrough or a practice on Tuesday or the spring game. You know what I mean? Every day you have to stack to get to that season.
What do you want the culture of this team to be?
I want it. So far, it's been great. But the biggest thing for me is a standard, you know what I mean? And you can't let that slip. And we have our values, our core values, and accountability is a big one. And I think that's like something like setting the standard. And once you have a standard, if one guy's slipping, you got to pick him up, let him know about it. You just want everybody to set the bar higher, then it'll continue to get higher. You know what I mean? And as the leaders need to set that the highest, and everybody follows along. So.
When I spoke with you back in March, you talked about your past with wrestling, being a former running back. Was there any advice or jokes for Martell as he's kind of made that transition?
No. I mean, yeah, I played Martell's in high school, so I've already seen him on offense a little bit, but I've been joking around with him a lot. Everybody has, but yeah, he's been doing a great job, a really good job, learning that offense pretty quick, and he's been everywhere, returning too, so he's done really well.
What should fans expect to see from Mikhail Skinner now that he's out there?
Yeah, he's improved a lot from last year. Just he's always had the talent. You know what I mean? I've known Mikhail, me and Mikhail are boys. He's always had the talent, but he's improved his mentals a lot from last year, just with the playbook and everything. And I think when he gets the ball in the hands, he's definitely scary. And I think as he continues to improve, and as a tight end group we continue to improve, it can be a really, really good room.
A lot of new transfers on this team. We've heard about these, I think they're called get real sessions that you guys do. Who's maybe been the most interesting new teammate that you've met in the spring?
There's a bunch of them. A lot of new guys, like past 2 years. You know what I mean? That's how college football is. A lot of new guys on the roster, but it's been good to hear everybody's stories. Even guys I've played with last year, like. One of them is Jaden Williams. You know what I mean? We've been friends since last year. He was on the team here last year, but I didn't know his backstory before these Get Real meetings. And it's just really good learning everybody's backstory and their bring up and how they came up and everything like that. It's really interesting. It makes you think about that when you're out in the field with them.
Kind of piggyback off that, you're a Kentucky kid, and there's some legend who's come through, Derek Dabney, Craig Geese, and everyone. How do you convey to these new guys who aren't from this state, who don't know what Kentucky football is, how do you kind of convey to them, like, this is what the program's about, this is what we want it to be?
Yeah, it's just about, like I said, the standard. You know what I mean? The guys who came before us set that standard high, and we're looking to set that bar higher. You know what I mean? Just continue to build off that and seeing the guys who came before us and where the Kentucky is just motivation. And, you know what I mean, you got to have respect for that and know every time you step out with the jersey, it means something for sure for the state and for the people.
A couple more. We've heard so much from other returning players about the difference in styles and intensity with practices in the spring compared to last year and this year. Do you like this new practice style, and what do you notice the biggest difference?
Yeah, I think it's just the tempo and like I said, the competition. And with that quick tempo, it comes, you know, what I mean, no breaks, which I love. And I think as we get used to it, later in the spring now, we've gotten used to it now, and I think it's been really good. And it's just a much faster practice, which is more like in game. So I think it's good for both sides to see that. You know, what I mean, playing SEC is a lot of tempo on both sides. Defense, you know, what I mean, offense, you can get a good jump. So I think as a whole group, as a whole team, it's really good for both sides.
What do you tell people when they ask you, like, what's the biggest difference in the program now versus 3 months ago?
I just say energy every day. You know what I mean? Well, it doesn't matter what day it is. It could be a Monday lift, like I said. It could be a Tuesday practice, a little cold. It doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? We're gonna be competing. We're gonna bring energy, and I think if somebody, like Coach said, useful is useful, and if somebody's down a little bit, not bringing much energy, you gotta see, like, you gotta be a type of dude to bring that energy. You know what I mean? Bring them up with you, like I said, with the standard.
Okay, folks, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
We'll get to Ryan up. Very good. All right, question for Ryan. We've heard a lot about Coach Bateman's defense and kind of how that's been implemented, but from your perspective, like, what's it been like working in this system now for a couple weeks?
I feel like it's a lot more. It's a lot more components, but I feel like it's for the better. Puts us in every 11 player on the field has a chance to make the play, I feel like.
What are your thoughts on the energy in the practice now with it being so crazy? We've all heard all the stories. What's your personal opinion on it?
It's great. No, I'm a corner, so like I really love energy. I love just the competitive nature. So just having that energy come from each other, it becomes contagious.
Talked to Coach Brown on Thursday. He told us he broke his finger during the
Yeah, so like at the beginning of practice when we're stretching, everybody gets a football. Ball security is at an utmost high in the program. So we want to take care of the ball. So like the coaches just kind of go around trying to punch at the ball, see if they can catch someone slipping and punch the ball out. And Coach AB, he gonna bring the energy. So when he came to punch the ball, I guess he punched it too hard and broke his finger. I don't know. It wasn't on me though. It wasn't on me. I remember when we went to Indy that day, he was just like holding his finger and like kept looking at it. I was like, what's going on? He was like, I tried to punch the ball. I was like, oh man.
Heard about some of the fun you guys have been having practicing and scrimmaging. Coach Stein told us about Jesse's pick six today. What was the energy like seeing that? How cool was that seeing that?
That was Hassan Sykes that got that pick six. And yeah, it was great. You know, I seen the ball go in the air. I thought initially it went over one of my teammates' head, and then I seen him catch it, and I was just like, we got to go score this. So I just started running. I'm looking for somebody to block. But, like, you know, it's just fun, you know, seeing everybody make plays, everybody being in the right spot. Like I said earlier, every 111 has a chance to make the play, and Hassan was in the right spot at that time, and he capitalized on it.
Willie was talking about this Mamba drill. Is there any position group that enjoys that more than the DBs?
The O-line, D-line get excited because it's like they're in the middle of the field, like dead smack in the middle of the field. So everybody's right there. All the O-line is standing in the middle. All the D-line is standing in the middle. And then they go 4 in a row. So it goes corner, I believe, like nickel safety, and then it goes tight end, linebacker, and then it goes straight 4 D-linemen, 4 O-linemen. So it's just back to back to back. Just, you know, energy, straight, back and forth competition.
What was your thoughts when you initially heard about that drill? And have they changed any since you started doing it?
When I first heard about the drill, I was like, let's go. Let's do it. You know, like as a corner, you gotta love to compete. You gotta love to be put in uncomfortable situations, which is being in front of your whole team and having to stop the person in front of you. And ultimately, like I said kind of before, at corner it's mano a mano sometimes. So you just gotta go win. And honestly, I don't feel like they changed anything. It's just you go out there, the receiver get a route, you gotta stop them, and you know just go have fun doing it too.
Coach Brown did say they're asking you all to do a lot more press man coverage than previous years. What does that mean to you as a corner, and is it big exciting?
Absolutely. Just being able to get down at the line and take away that space is definitely a lot harder to play man from off and someone's running at you full speed forward and you're running backwards. So, just getting down and being able to take that space away and play with good feet and good eyes, it eliminates a lot more of the thinking, especially when someone's just running at you full speed.
Seems like it was just yesterday that you were being pressed into the lineup as a freshman and guys were hurt and you had to make plays and you did. Well, now you're a veteran and you've got to be a leader, yet you've got a new DC and a new head coach and all that. What's it like trying to be a leader on this team in a situation like that?
Well, honestly, I just feel like it goes back to our traits, our DNA traits, kind of how Coach Stein and Willie was talking about. It just goes back to the traits. And honestly, if we just execute that, then it makes it easy for me to lead because I feel like I already have the personality to just be relatable and personable to my teammates. And another thing that comes with that is we have a lot of transfers, so you have to really understand your teammate and how they want to be led because certain people don't want to be led in different ways. They don't want to be talked to in certain ways. So just trying to take that time to sit down and talk and, see how people like to be talked to, see how people like to be led. And then, honestly, once you figure that out, is just go from there. You got to capitalize on it. So I try and greet everybody with a smile and talk to everybody as much as I can just to, when I'm on the field and I'm getting on them, they know that it's coming from a place of love, not just that I'm trying to get behind them.
From your perspective on the other side of the ball, has there been a guy that's just brought it every single day?
Shane Carr. Shane Carr is going to bring it every day from blocking to route running to just everything. So I feel like Shane Carr is bringing it, and I think the freshman class is bringing it as well. They're very aggressive on the perimeter when it comes to blocking, and they're very talented too.
You kind of mentioned, obviously, playing corner, you're one-on-one on an island. Coach Brown said, obviously, reps and, everyone's learning and being a young guy thrust into the starting lineup. Where have you seen the most growth in yourself and in your unit with this new DC, this new type of practice format?
Honestly, as the weeks go by, just the confidence rises. Just, getting under the playbook, getting those reps under your belt, it helps build confidence because doing something that you're not really used to or doing something that you haven't done before it's uncomfortable at first, but once you start to gain that confidence, once you start to put those reps under your belt, it becomes second nature. And for me, I just feel like my confidence is rising, and everyone in the room, our whole room from me down to Isaiah McMillan, early enrollee freshman, which is showing great flashes. Everyone's just showing more confidence and just playing faster.
You mentioned Shane on the other side. Is there someone in the cornerback's room or safety's room that you really think is really stepping up and has really grown throughout spring ball?
Cyrus Reyes is a safety. Jordan Castell, of course, I know y'all know about him. He's a veteran safety. Ty Bryant, I know y'all gonna hear that name a lot. Corner room, I like all my guys, of course. Hassan Sykes, Braxton Erhardt, DeMarcus Gardner, all of them just showing good strides. And then on the offensive side, we sometimes have to guard the tight ends. Mikael Skinner is electric. Willie Rodriguez is definitely electric. Nick Anderson is a great addition to the offense as well. DJ Miller, I just feel like it's ball players all around.
So not exactly your room, but seeing a fellow DB, Martell's kind of take some reps on the offense, been running back, just how fun has that been to go against him and see him do his thing?
It's fun because when after the play, we'll tackle him or something, and you just know when he's looking at you, it's just he knows what I'm thinking. Like if we're on the sideline and stuff, he played that position. He knows what it feels like to have to go tackle somebody on the sideline or tackle somebody in open space. So just having the ball in his hand, it's just fun to see, honestly.
Anybody else? All right. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
We will see y'all Tuesday.